Aries season 2025 is coming, a season of initiation, leadership, and making bold moves. And you can find your free mini guide in the description box. But let's talk about how you can step into an exciting new chapter this Aries season. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Hannah and welcome back, Cosmic Warriors. Before we do dive into today's episode, if you want to learn more about astrology, then head on over to the Cosmic Check-In podcast. And if you would like to book a reading with me, then go to hannahselsewhere.com. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's do this. Okay, Aries season 2025, let's get into it. Opening the season, the moon will be in Sagittarius, the moon will be in Sagittarius as the sun gradually begins to conjunct both Venus and Mercury retrograde in Aries. This combination of fire indicates an exciting and an opportunistic start to Aries season, setting an enthusiastic and eager, inspirational tone. It'll be a season where we feel uplifted, excited, hopefully inspired indeed, passionate, and with the ruler of the season, Mars, still in Cancer, creating a trine with Saturn, the North Node, and Neptune in Pisces. Well, we will still make our way through some rather spiritual lessons, which, yes, some of those lessons can be quite painful. It'll still be a season of recovery, let's just put it that way. Shedding, releasing, letting go. The truth is still to be realized and processed, our feelings wild, the chaos of our hearts amplified. And with it being the heart of eclipse season, the unfamiliar will be tapping on our shoulder. See, it is one thing to think how we wish to change or how we have changed, but it is another to be the change, right? To embody change, to live it. As my therapist says, dare you live. This, I feel, is an important message during Aries season 2025 because it is a season of shedding and allowing out with the old, in with the new, being a brave warrior who can stand up for oneself, even though we have experienced a few scratches and bruises here and there. Indeed, we are reminded this Aries season that when we fall down, we must get back up. When it feels like we have been defeated, we must live to fight another day, to face another battle. Here's the thing. Many of us feel depleted, exhausted, fed up. I know I've certainly felt fed up a lot recently. Well, over the past number of months. Confused by the world as well, by our everyday lives. Perhaps there are those of you, like myself, whose, well, energy levels have felt off. As we slowly move with Mars now being direct, it is important that we integrate, feel, heal. Keep in mind that both Venus and Mercury retrograde will enter Pisces throughout the season, connecting with Mars, right? Therefore, this is also about pulling back the layers, diving deeper, and stepping into the unknown, right? This is about being gentle with yourself, listening to your body, my goodness, trusting your intuition. Many of us deny our intuition. The noise of everyday life can just drown it out. But I have a feeling that many people are learning to tune in and listen. And I think that's a big theme for 2025. So, as the spring equinox occurs in the northern hemisphere, and we welcome the sun in all of its glory, allow your body and your mind to soften, to let go, to be at ease, to address any aches and pains Why is it that anger might come up? What are you angry about? What do you feel agitated about even? Aries, in all of its eagerness and passion and excitement, wants to rush to the finish line, which is great. We can draw from the sun exaltation to do that, of course. But Pisces asks us to also feel through the experience and to pay attention to the signs, to see the synchronicities. Older spiritual lessons and themes will present themselves. But we must be awake to see them, and more importantly, to learn from them. And by the end of April, coming into May, the messages will be much clearer, of course. So there are a few things to look forward to. This is about you, your story, your mission, your path. This is about being brave and choosing yourself. Venus and Mercury retrograde in Pisces have something to offer us about the kinds of things we hold on to, right? How might we be clinging to things? In which ways might we be emotionally enmeshed? What must you let go of so you can be reborn? This could be a relationship, a friendship, a job, a business, a way you speak to yourself, right? Your mindset, or a way that you even speak to other people. An eclipse plus a retrograde season just together, very intense, but also so eye-opening. It is an opportunity for us to get curious about our next big step, our next big chapter, a new experience, right? But equally, to give thanks to what has been, to pay our respects to the old, to grieve, to mourn, possibly. Those older patterns and habits that no longer serve you, well, perhaps they once served you, right? So what can you learn from that? How difficult as well, though, it is to let go of those habits and patterns, to trust that your life is going to be fruitful on the other side whenever you start or develop a new cycle, a new habit, a new pattern, to trust that it's going to be okay. On the other side of fear is freedom. Hey, back to how the moon will be in Sagittarius beginning the season. There is no such thing as accidents, as my Venus and moon in Sagittarius father once said. Fear, you see, is a part of change. It's a part of life. And many mixed emotions and feelings are likely when we finally embrace a new start. It can hurt. It can hurt. And it can be painful. But perhaps some of us should ask ourselves about the cost. The cost of holding on when we know deep down we have outgrown a situation. Is it then worth it, for example, to continue that relationship or that role? Is it causing you more harm than good? What stories do you make up so that you can cope with it better? How might you be lying to yourself even? Face the truth and be honest with yourself, says Aries. I mean, after all, Aries season is about authenticity. It's about stepping up. It's about standing up for ourselves. In what ways have you been giving your power away to others? How have you went against your own instincts? Because Aries season is here to welcome a few lessons. Hard lessons at that. Mars in Cancer, of course, is a big reminder of tough love. Instead of dwelling or living in the past, Pisces asks us to live in the present, to be in the now, to remain in the flow, to see that we can create from this point on. Aries season 2025 asks us to move, and to move with courage, with an innocence perhaps. The solar eclipse in Aries throughout the season will be pretty massive. The final eclipse on the Aries-Libra axis for another 8 years, inviting this closing, but it's also a new chapter, welcome it with excitement, be open to what changes await you, especially considering how the North Node was in Aries throughout 2023 and 2024. The North Node, of course, being about our direction, our path, where we're headed, right? And what do we also see? Neptune changing signs. And this is a pretty big deal. After 14 years of Neptune being in Pisces, what a rush, what an inspiration to have it enter the first sign of the zodiac, this new cycle, new beginnings, as if we feel awakened, as if we will wake up from some confusing dream. Heck, this could look like many finally leaving a toxic relationship or seeing someone in a whole new light, taking off our rose-colored glasses. With a zest for life, there is no denying how we feel. We want what is enjoyable and adventurous. Many do not want to be tied at the hip, caught up in this emotional enmeshment, feeling disorientated by people's falsehood, by their masks. It is a time to stand up and direct our lives. That takes guts, that takes courage. To be a leader, a compassionate leader who is reborn after a period of what has felt like rescuing others with very little fulfillment in return. Those people who drain our energy, who manipulate, they do just enough to keep us on the hook, giving us their breadcrumbs. And well, we took it. We put up with it. No more, says Aries season 2025. Neptune in Aries mixed with a powerful and influential solar eclipse in Aries is a recipe of I choose myself. This is about your independence, being your own person, having a strong sense of self. If you are enjoying this video so far, then please be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more. And if you want to learn more about astrology, you can always pick up a copy of my astrology cheat sheets. I have recently launched the cheat sheets for how to plan your week using the planetary days. Thank you so much. The links are down below. Moreover, what I find quite exciting about Aries season is how the Sun will sextile Pluto at the beginning of the season. Then the Sun will sextile Jupiter around April time. And then towards the end of the season, Mars re-enters Leo and then Mercury re-enters Aries. And of course, those two planets will create a lovely trine. Meaning, Aries season will be highly transformative. It'll push us outside of our comfort zones. It just might end with us desiring to put our best foot forward as we feel the urge to truly spring into action. Keep in mind that all the planets will be direct by that point, right? By the end of the season. And before we do take a step into an exciting new chapter, well, the full moon in Libra will also take place throughout Aries season. A moon that will encourage us to restore some balance, especially as we close an intense, very intense eclipse season, retrograde season. That full moon, of course, will feel like a big sigh of relief. To also think that Venus, the very ruler of that full moon, will turn direct 1 hour later. How cosmically aligned is that? And then to also think that it will be the first sort of big full moon after eclipses in Libra. So indeed, it'll be an opportunity for us to restore the balance. But more on that in its own separate video. Essentially meaning though that a rebirth is up ahead, folks. But before we experience it, it's about feeling through it. I know. You just have to feel the emotions. We are encouraged to listen to our hearts, to trust the process as we venture into the unknown. And then as for Uranus, well, Uranus will make some connections with Pisces and Cancer, activating our rebellious side perhaps, right? Could it be suggested that Uranus will act as the doorway to our freedom? Think about how Uranus has been connecting with the moon cycles over the past few months especially. So yes, it will speak to freedom related to our self-worth, our core values, possibly our money, our resources. With Venus being retrograde for the majority of the season, older themes will present themselves, of course, but that's so good because we can learn from them. Something you may not have noticed before could come up, asking you to pay attention. A generous or kind act from a stranger, an act of charity from you towards another, possibly being mindful of how your inner security shapes your outer security, or a breakthrough that enlightens you about materials or love. Also important to note before we get on to your horoscopes, Saturn and Uranus will create a same degree sextile beginning of April, welcoming this harmonious connection between endurance and discipline being Saturn and invention and creativity being Uranus. In both Pisces and Taurus, this is about the crops you're watering, how you're nourishing yourself, the kinds of products you consume. How can you move with greater intention and slowness? Perhaps adding a unique twist to your current project can be super helpful in the long run. Be open this Aries season to taking something old or long-lasting and making it rather exciting, advanced, perhaps a little weird. Okay, so with the astrology of Aries season 2025 being explained, let's now get on to your horoscopes. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, so first up we have Aries. Aries, well, firstly I want to say a happy birthday to all of you solar Aries out there. I hope you have a wonderful birthday and a wonderful year ahead. And just to then highlight here that this is a pretty big time for you if you think about it. Very life-changing, rather transformative. This is a season of renewal because, well, one, the sun will be lighting up your first house of self, your life path, your identity, your appearance, your aims, your goals. So these things are going to be activated. And the sun will also create a sextile to Pluto to really open up the season, well, almost. And so this can be a big indicator of, well, transformation, especially group transformation, ideology transformation, social identity even. But to further add here, Aries, I just want to highlight the importance of being gentle with yourself, taking your time. Why do I say this? Because I think for many of you, your season this year, especially, it's a season of recovery. It's a season of healing, spiritual wisdom, spiritual growth. I think it's a season of emotional recognition and a lot of self-acceptance I'm getting from this. Plus, what do we see? A new chapter, indeed, because Neptune will be changing signs. Neptune will be entering your sign, Aries. So we could see this as you growing spiritually. Do keep in mind that there will be the retrograde of Neptune. So there's still a few other things to look over, to revisit. But wow, you're about to step into a whole new version of yourself, which is quite exciting. Thank you, Aries. Now on to Taurus. So Taurus, this Aries season for you, well, the sun naturally will light up your house of spiritual enlightenment, your hidden self, your shadow, self-undoing, karma, many themes, many messages and lessons to do with independence, to do with leadership. You're about to embark on a rather pioneering spiritual journey, Taurus, as of course Neptune will enter your 12th house throughout Aries season. So you're going to get a glimpse of what's to come over the next 14 years or so, right? So indeed, this could be a whole new spiritual mission, a whole new spiritual quest for many of you Taurians. A lot of self-care, I would also say here, which is important to recognize, to pay respects to. And of course, let's also consider how, with the retrogrades, one involving your chart ruler Venus, the retrogrades will naturally occur in both the 12th and 11th houses. So you're also going to revisit a few matters to do with community, teamwork, group involvement, group projects, maybe social events, networking, these kinds of things. I think you're going to really heavily pay close attention to. Good opportunity, Taurus, throughout Aries season, before your season naturally. It's a great opportunity to tie up loose ends when it comes to areas related to the masses, related to the collective. Hey, your hopes and your wishes for the future could also be revisited. Take your time, and I don't have to tell you that twice, Taurus. Thank you so much, Taurus. Let's now move on to Gemini. So, Gemini, well, we notice here with you this, because we're really highlighting here, stepping into this new exciting chapter. For Aries, it's especially going to be potent, but for you, Gemini, well, the sun is going to light up your sector of group associations, networking, teamwork, just being a part of something bigger than you, even your social identity. So to consider how you might desire to be a pioneer, how you might desire to be a leader, but to, I suppose, move with an open heart, to move with this innocence, this excitability, Gemini. Heck, with Neptune also entering your 11th house throughout Aries season this year, which of course is a part of a bigger chapter. But I think this could give you a glimpse into maybe new friends, new teams, projects that do include communities. Could also be a glimpse into the future, if you will, when it comes to hopes and wishes and how you want to take the lead, right? How you want to maybe take the lead within groups in some way, shape or form, but in a compassionate way. Could also be joining a group where a lot of healing is done, highly introspective, Gemini. And of course, we also want to consider how Mercury, your ruler, is a part of this story. So Mercury is retrograde in both the 11th and 10th houses for you. So this is also a good opportunity for you to revisit career opportunities. It could be older career related themes that come up, or maybe, hey, you know what, part of this is shedding some skin, so to speak, letting go of a certain direction or a path that you thought you wanted. Could even see this as many Gemini out there, you leaving certain jobs or leading a certain role or a position, maybe just certain positions no longer align with your morals, with your values. So it could be a good opportunity for you, Gemini, throughout Aries season to just reconsider these areas, to rethink them and to reprioritize. Thank you so much, Gemini. And now moving on to Cancer. So Cancer, this Aries season, well, we see here you truly embarking on a new exciting chapter, embracing a new exciting chapter, possibly to do with career opportunities, your life's work, your purpose, your brand. Could also be about how you show up on a public, within a public setting. Could be social media, for example. Your reputation is going to be highlighted here. But you see, and I'm going to highlight this because, of course, the moon rules you, with eclipses, right? So there's going to be, well, just the one eclipse, the solar eclipse will happen. That solar eclipse will happen in your 10th house of career, of accomplishment and achievement and recognition. So this is where we're going to see you truly embark on a new journey. And I especially think this because eclipses have been happening on this 4th house, 10th house axis for you over the past couple of years, Cancer. So there have been big changes ushered in to do with your family life, your home life versus your career life, your public life, right? So indeed, this is about success. This is about how it is that you take the lead within career settings, within public situations. And I think a big part of it too is about the kind of person that you want to become known for, respected for being. And that kind of person is pioneering, it's passionate to be a leader. Coaching, for example, could be a part of this. Fitness could be a part of this. Your sexuality could also show up in some way, shape, or form. But I do also want to mention, naturally, Cancer, that we want to be mindful of the retrogrades, right? So retrogrades will happen in your 10th and 9th houses. Therefore, throughout Aries season, it will also be important for you to maybe pay closer attention to your beliefs, your worldviews, your morals. I think, yeah, you're going to get some insight into the ways in which you guide your life based on your morals. And if it is that you don't feel very aligned, how can you make some adjustments? Keep in mind that Pisces is it's a mutable sign, right? And then also we think about how Neptune is going to move into your 10th house throughout the season. And this is, of course, a glimpse of what is to truly come for you. But I think Neptune could be where there is this more malleable way that you show up. There could be some flexibility. There could be a change, maybe related to your identity, or maybe a part of this is about how it is that you take the lead. You know, you take the lead within career settings, but you're going to do that in a really emotionally powerful, strong way. You're going to guide perhaps from this compassionate way. Thank you so much, Cancer. But let's now move on to Leo. So Leo, this Aries season, of course, the sun will be lighting up your sector of travel, of self-exploration, self-discovery. Leo, you're about to embark on this new chapter, this new journey with respect to your worldviews, your philosophies, your beliefs. This is about the abstract. This is about exploring the bigger picture. Could also be that a few legal matters, legal areas come up, you have to revisit those. And those parts, sure, could be a little bit more boring or tedious. But let's also consider how well the retrogrades will occur in both your 9th and 8th houses. I'm going to say this, Leo. It could be that whilst there's some excitement about travel, about spreading your wings, trying things outside of your comfort zone, there are also themes here that are much deeper, more intense, more intimate. Maybe you just need that privacy. Okay, Leo, you need some privacy throughout the season to take care of yourself, to recognize your own emotional needs, what you might repress, what you might deny. Could be a good way for you to even tune in with, well, your sexuality, your deeper desires in this regard. And it also could be where you reprioritize maybe matters related to intimacy, plus maybe reprioritizing the ways in which you manage other people's money or how you join, right? So it could be a matter of you joining together with another person financially, and so you and that other person, you take your time to look things over, to maybe divide things or just see how things work, but equally, how are things not working so well? And you can adjust. Be kind to yourself, of course, Leo, but there are exciting new opportunities ahead, especially because there will be that solar eclipse, which will really light up your 9th house throughout the season. Thank you so much, Leo. And now on to Virgo. So Virgo, Aries season for you. Of course, Aries season for you is always a little bit intense. It's a good way for you to dive deeper into your own psyche, right? Getting to know yourself, your shadow, your hidden self. the parts of the self that feel kind of private or locked away at times, in a similar way to the 12th house, but also slightly different, I would say. Still, with the solar eclipse happening in your 8th house throughout the season, this is where we're going to see you truly venturing into the unknown. And this has been something that you've been exploring, let's just put it that way, over the past couple of years. But this solar eclipse, remember, it's the final eclipse on the Aries Libra axis for another 8 years or so. So we could really look at this as a closing a chapter, maybe to do with intimacy, to do with your psychology, to do with sexuality. Hey, that could be another area. Shared resources, things like that. And then also we want to consider how your ruler Mercury will be retrograde in both the 8th and 7th houses, plus Venus too will be retrograde. But how might this manifest for you? Well, whilst I do see this as like a big season of rebirth for many Virgos out there, which I think is incredible, I equally think it's important to not sort of get pulled back into reoccurring older habits and patterns, especially regarding other people. And that's the thing, because for you, Neptune has been opposite you, right? Neptune has been in your opposite sign in Pisces for about 14 years. And that within itself has been quite the ride. I know, Looney Town, Virgo, just rose-colored glasses, putting people on pedestals, codependency, emotional enmeshment, confusion, disorientated, what's right, what's wrong, who's telling the truth, all that stuff. I get that. So hopefully with Neptune exiting for a period of time, do keep in mind that you're still going to review such areas throughout 2025, but you're going to get a glimpse into this rebirth, right? Into this spiritual transformation regarding what? Your identity, standing up for yourself, putting yourself first, Virgo, making yourself a priority. And that's going to be really exciting. Thank you, Virgo. And now on to Libra. So Libra, the sun, of course, is going to oppose you, as it does every Aries season. So this is an opportunity for you to kind of know yourself through the other, if you will. It's a good opportunity for you to maybe address relationship matters, especially, hey, are there any imbalances? Is there anything that you want to restore a little bit when it comes to compromise or cooperation, negotiation? Could you maybe weigh out your options a little bit, weigh out your choices, the pros, the cons, what is working, what's not working? How can you be a bit of a leader when it comes to these kinds of areas? And then, of course, we also want to think about how Venus, your ruler, will be retrograde opposite you for a period of time, and then into the 6th house. So the 7th and the 6th houses. Therefore, throughout Aries season this year, it's a good opportunity, Libra, for you to reevaluate what are your values within relationships, within partnerships. What do you want from a relationship, even if it is a friendship? Maybe it could also be related to business, some business partnership. One-to-one. We want to think about especially one-to-one relationships here. So indeed, values, your value system. How do you relate to people? How do you connect with people? Is there anything that you want to change? Could be older sort of themes and habits that come up, but all of the, hopefully, with the lessons and the intention, of changing, right? To embark on a new journey, to see, okay, this is the next chapter of my life and I'm willing to embrace it. Also consider how, of course, with the 6th house activated, it'll be an opportunity for you to maybe revisit your health, how you can reprioritize things related to your health. Could also be about maybe adjusting some schedules, your routines. How might you even be overly submissive in a way, or overly passive? That could be a thing. Or how is it that you've maybe got tangled up in things a little bit confused, or how you've maybe taken on too much of other people's workload, things like that. So it's a good way for you to just make some significant adjustments. And then, of course, as for Neptune will leave your 6th house. And so with it entering your 7th house, there could be different themes, a new chapter, a new story that will start to unfold over the next coming years. Related to what? Well, it could be related to, of course, relationships, connections, business, clients, customers, those kinds of areas. But through this lens of more spiritual themes, spiritual values, what is it that you appreciate within other people, more so from this spiritual level. But naturally, with it being Aries, this could also be about you maybe seeing what isn't working for you personally when it comes to one-to-one relationships. So there could be some things that, patterns that dissolve, so to speak. Thank you so much, Libra. And now on to Scorpio. Scorpio, this Aries season, we want to think about how you will be embarking on embracing this new chapter to do with the workload, your productivity levels, your health. My goodness, especially because the solar eclipse is going to activate that 6th house. So there could be some significant, exciting new chapter related to work and schedules and routines. Naturally, do just take care of yourself and try and not rush ahead either. Try and take your time, especially because there will be the retrogrades happening in the 6th and 5th houses for you. So you're going to get an opportunity to explore, okay, what would I like to maybe adjust or change or revisit with relation to my work, with relation to my productivity, my stress levels? How might I be adding extra pressure that's not really necessary, that's not really needed for my health especially? And then equally, we want to think about this as you revisiting. It could be romantic, older romantic themes could come up, themes to do with maybe dating or just trying to connect on a romantic level with your lover, with your partner. It could also be older themes to do with children, right? Older conversations, decisions, conclusions. It could be about what you and your significant other, how you both join together. What are the kinds of things you want to do for your children? How do you want to create maybe in this way? Could also be about your creativity. So revisiting hobbies, creative projects. Older creative projects could be re-explored, revisited. You could polish things up, tie up some loose ends. Good way for you to really tap into your imagination with a part of the retrogrades involving Pisces. So Pisces in your 5th, Scorpio. Thank you so much, Scorpio. And now on to Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, this Aries season, of course, the sun will be lighting up your sector of, your area of life, really related to children, hobbies, recreational activities, time off, right? Time off and romantic relationships. So thinking about your romantic life. Therefore, could we see for you some significant new shifts and chapters to do with romance and love, possibly to do with children? There could even be some kind of closing of a chapter related to children, because it will be the final sort of eclipse, which will really activate your 5th house for another 8 years or so. So indeed, we're going to see this solar eclipse happen in your 5th house in Aries throughout the season. Maybe welcoming a new chapter to do with children, but also creativity again. Creativity, entertainment, hobbies, fun. Hey, right. So I think the retrogrades throughout Aries season could be quite eye-opening for you with respect to what brings you joy, what makes you feel good. Pleasure is also a big theme here as well. Your interests, your passions, especially with Aries included. So yeah, Aries is a very passionate, enthusiastic sign. And then equally, we could look at this as some closing, some endings to do with family, to do with emotional attachments, emotional connections, perhaps just making peace maybe with a certain emotional connection that no longer serves you. It could also be the ending of a home chapter, a living situation chapter, but you can use the retrogrades throughout Aries season just to mull things over, to tie up loose ends, go over things, right? Reprioritize a few areas there, Sagittarius. Could be very exciting, could even be a very creative time, especially because Neptune is going to enter into your 5th house throughout the season. So we could see some possible new beginnings, a new chapter which will slowly start to unfold over the next coming years related to, well, your creativity. And maybe it's your creativity that's strongly connected in with, okay, what inspires me? Truly, what inspires me? Could it be a very artistic time for you, Sagittarius? Thank you, Sagittarius. Now on to Capricorn. So Capricorn, we are going to see this Aries season for you, your sector of life related to family and home being lit up, but through this lens of being a pioneer, being a leader, wanting to start something of your own. Could be about you wanting to start your own family. It could be some significant changes you want to make to your living situation, to your family. Could also be, of course, even related to changes that you make physically within the home. But whatever the case, the solar eclipse, of course, is going to activate that 4th house. And so there could be a new exciting chapter when it comes to these very matters. And of course, we also notice that with the retrogrades happening in your 4th and 3rd houses, throughout Aries season, Capricorn, you're going to revisit, review, reassess matters related to family. It could be older conversations with family members that you look over, you revisit. Could be also older decisions. So a decision that maybe you made in the past, but you start to rethink that decision. Again, it could be about family, home. It could also be an emotional connection, an emotional attachment that you re-explore. Plus, this could also be about your education, learning, study. It could be about how you show up within your local community in this regard, thinking even about local connections, chit-chat, stuff of that nature. So revisiting those very areas throughout Aries season, and maybe even making peace with some. It could be something intellectual, it could be a study program, it could be a vehicle situation. It could also be related to siblings or cousins, childhood friends, classmates. Yeah, you may be making peace with a connection, with a relationship that you're ready to let go of, you're ready to move away from. Thank you so much, Capricorn. And now on to Aquarius. So Aquarius, well, we're going to see for you throughout Aries season a pretty new, exciting chapter to do with your local community, to do with local connections, communication as well. Communicating with confidence could be a big factor here. Communicating from this place of, okay, like, let me take the lead. I want to start this project. I want to start this group. I want to be a part of this. So jumping in. But of course, we do want to be mindful of the retrogrades. So it's important to maybe strategize a little bit, right? Maybe see, okay, what would I like to change? How can I adjust a few areas related to communication or study or learning? But hey, this could also be about selling, trade. This could be about maybe vehicles as well, how it is that you maybe move throughout your local area, how you get from A to B. These areas could be looked over and you may make significant adjustments. Plus, there will be that solar eclipse, which will happen in your 3rd house. So with that solar eclipse, this could be a whole new area of exploration, right? So let's think about maybe new connections, new ways of relating, new ways of socializing with people, which could be very exciting, Aquarius. And of course, with those retrogrades of Venus and Mercury also entering into your 2nd house throughout the season, it's important to just try and slow it down a little bit, Aquarius. Try not freak out. And I know that is easier said than done. Try and trust the process when it comes to finances, materials, physical security. There could be a few areas there that you let go of, that you make peace with. Okay, could also be about your self-worth, so maybe there is a healthy letting go or kind of deep sea cleanse, so to speak, related to your self-worth. So because of those kinds of endings, you're like, right, okay, I'm making peace with that and I'm walking away, right? And maybe a part of that is tied in even with how you communicate, how you speak to yourself. Thank you so much, Aquarius. And now on to Pisces. So Pisces, this Aries season, of course, the sun will be lighting up your area of life related to your finances and your resources, your skills, your talents, your gifts as well. So we can look at this as you may be embarking on this new journey, being a bit of a pioneer, you asking for what you want, you may be standing up for yourself, perhaps when it comes to your self-worth, when it comes to your value. New exciting chapters ahead within these areas, Pisces. Though we also want to explore a few other things because, of course, let's keep in mind that Neptune was hanging out in your sign for 14 years. And whilst that welcomed new areas of exploration related to your appearance and your identity, well, Neptune will enter into your second house throughout Aries season. There will be the retrograde throughout the year, but still you're going to get a glimpse of what's to come when it comes to finances and materials and your physical security. Maybe your values will be looked at, your core values. There could be some changes that are made, significant shifts that are made. This could also be about maybe earning money from your spiritual practices in some way, or earning money from this place of these are my spiritual values, right? Yes. So this could be quite an exciting transition, a new beginning, a fresh start, if you will. Again, just remember that there will be the retrograde. So this is just the beginning stages. Though, well, what I'll also say here is use the retrogrades of Venus and Mercury as an opportunity throughout Aries season just to go over the plan a little bit. If there's anything, Pisces, that you've been wanting to plan, you've been wanting to start, especially this could be related to your aims and your goals, right? If there is anything, could you maybe just try to take Aries season as a way to just go over, okay, these are my previous decisions. This is what I wrote before. These are the emails that I drew up, or these are the documents I looked over. How can you maybe re-explore those? Reprioritize things a little bit so that you can come from this place of making more well-informed decisions moving forward. So yes, just a way to rethink, what is the next step for me? What do I really want? And how can I visualize, right? With Pisces, it's about the dream. It's to be able to visualize, to come from that place. And hey, this could be about inspiration. So what really, inspires you about this next chapter, this next step in your life, right? When we think about those identity shifts that will really start to occur and happen throughout Aries season. Okay, thank you so much, Pisces. And with that, this has been your horoscopes for Aries season of 2025. And I really focused a lot on the retrogrades, of course. I focused more so on your Aries and Pisces houses. A lot of shedding, a lot of releasing, but also new starts, fresh starts up ahead for many. So with that being said, yes, I think it's important to give thanks. It's important to feel through our experiences, but it's also a good way to maybe look towards the future and get excited for what's to come, right? New chapters. Thank you all so much for watching today. And of course, I do hope that you find this video to be helpful, and I hope as well that this video has prepared you for Aries season of 2025. If you did find this video to be helpful, then you can always buy me a coffee. Stay tuned for more, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!